Hey folks, Mal the Train Tutor back in the studio and back with another technical tutorial for you. Yes, and in this technical tutorial we are clearly back in the snow playlist and we're doing work with icy ground. So what I'm going to be covering is how I do my icy ground and the different sort of flavours and what I do to it to get the flavours to make it look a little bit more realistic. So I'm going to be taking you through with some basic hobby products and we're going to be laying some ground down on High Peak Pass, ready for the deep snow and finishing this off. But this video, it's a technical video, so we're concentrating purely on the ice. So if you come down very quickly, you can see what I've got here is I've whited out where the deep snow is going to go, and I've got my road piece here. I've got some ground in here and obviously another road on the other side of there. We're going to ice these up. Now, first off, let's go through the materials we're going to be using. So, first off, I've got Podge, okay? Now, this is a type of PVA glue with an acrylic gel in it. Yeah, this is the glossy version. You can get Podge in matte or glossy. You want the glossy for this, the matte doesn't work. Now, on top of that, what I've got is, I've got a little, what you call it? It's called crushed glass. Okay, and it's from Secret Weapon Miniatures. You can buy it from all over the place, yeah, but it works really well with the ice, yeah. Crushed glass, you can buy it on eBay in big bags for next to nothing. You don't need to buy hobby supplies. And then the next thing I've got is, I've got a little round full of snow flock, and I think this is plastic fibres. Yeah, this is from Gale Force 9. Any sort of snow flock will do for this. You can use things like baking powder, but remember, baking powder will oxidize. Yeah, so you need to seal it with a varnish afterwards, or your snow's going to go yellow over time, and no one wants yellow snow. Right, I'm going to get ready and start mixing it up. I need to set up the camera, so just give me a sec. Right, I've zoomed the camera in, I've got my materials so you can see clearly what I'm doing. First off, we're going to start off with our Mod Podge. Yeah, and I'm going to pour in probably about that much, just under an inch worth. Okay, now Mod Podge is white, it is, yeah, but it dries clear. Now, in the ice, when you see ice, quite often it's a bit fractured, I like to call it. It's not quite clear, it's where you're like, it's almost like it's been smashed. Yeah, we replicate that by adding a little bit of snow flock into it. So, got my snow flock here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about 5mm layer on it. Yeah, and then I'm going to do with my glass, my crushed glass, just a thin layer. You don't need much of the crushed glass. Basically, we're adding this into the mix at this stage so it goes all the way through. When we come along and we actually start laying it down, what we can do is go in with our flock and go in with our crushed glass and drop it in specific places to stylize it. I call it flavouring it, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, but you are essentially stylizing it. So we mix all this up into a lovely sludge. Give me a second. And once it's all mixed up, you'll be left with something like that. Yeah, it's not exactly liquid, but it's not exactly solid. It's like a gloop. Okay, and then all you need to do, in fact, if I spread it out, you can sort of see what it's like on the side of that cup. Okay, all I've got is a brush. I'm not sure if the brush will fit in here, but we'll be fine. And all I'm going to do is get it on my brush. I'm just going to brush it on. Yeah, you can lay it down, you can stipple it down. It really depends on how thick you want the ice and where you want it. If you want a big sheet of ice and you want it smooth, lay it down, then just just brush over some water over the top of it. That'll settle it and give it the smooth ice look. I don't want smooth ice, so I'm coming in and I am stippling away. Yeah, concentrating on all the major edges. Yeah, I want to get a good mix of it. Yeah, all the way across the middle. I'll dress the edges once it's on. Okay, so I don't want any particular big splodges. Right, I'll crack on with this and I'll bring it back once I've got this stippled on. So I've got an even coat over pretty much everywhere I want to get it. I've done it all on the ground and I've done a little bit on the battlements. That's not really important for this video, but I've just included it for the sake of including it. Right, now, next job is I want to thicken some of these areas up with ice. So, I've got a little brush, and all I'm doing is I'm going in and just applying a few thicker spots. Just in random. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid where there'd be lots of traffic and they'd get stepped through, if you know what I mean. So, let's put a few thicker spots on. So now our thicker spot's on, it's time to start dressing it. Now what I mean by dressing it is, this is Mod Podge, it's a glue, which means that we can go directly and just glue stuff directly to it. So I want to get a bit frosty where the main path is. So I've got my crushed glass, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to sprinkle it. That will soak into the glue, and it will just, when it dries, at the minute you can't see it, but when it dries that will come out and it will just appear a lot more frosty along those places. The thing I've got to be careful about when I'm doing this is, because I can't see where it's going, yeah, but it will show up once it's clear, I've got to make sure that this goes exactly where I want it and it's spread nice and evenly. Yeah, because like I say, you can't see it in the white of the glue as it goes down. Yeah, so sprinkle all this on, and I'll come back once I've got this sprinkled. Have a little sprinkle, have a little tinkle, then I'll be back. Now, once that's all been sprinkled and I've had my little tinkle, it's time to do the snow. Yeah, so I'm just going to get my snow flock, repeat exactly the same process, but I'm going to focus this where I've done my major blobs. Along the edges, because you will get snow build up along the edges. And once again, once I've got this sort of bit done, yeah, I'll bounce back once I've got this done. But yeah, just sprinkle it where you want the snow clumps, sprinkle it wherever the snow would be getting close to the edge, if that makes sense. So if you've got somewhere sort of like deep snow and you've got ice, yeah, it's the transition line that you want to put this stuff. So that's all my snow sprinkled down, and although you can't see it, it is really coming together. Now there's the last thing I need to do. Obviously snow is not, ice is not always perfectly, what you call it, sort of clear and snowy and white. Yeah, ice is quite often snow that gets trudged down into the mud and then gets churned back up, and so it can have a little bit of earth flavour to it, shall we say. So we've done our snow, we've done our ice flavour with our crushed glass. We've done our frosted ice, yeah, with our, what you call it, with our snow flock. Now we're going to do a bit of muddy ice. So what I've got is, I've got my original dark brown that I did the earth in, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a touch of that. Yeah, literally just that much, okay? I'm going to mix it in. Yeah, and that's how dark it changes it straight away. Now, I know this is going to dry clear. It's got a weird colour because I've mixed it with white, but when the white dries clear, it'll go back to having that flavour of that dark. So all I'm going to do is, with my stippling brush, yeah, I tend to like putting this where the edges are, but where the deep snow isn't. Yeah, so put there. Don't put it on too heavy, it's just a flavour. Yeah, obviously more where you get more people walking and that sort of stuff, because they'd be churning it all up. So around here, I hate it at this stage, I'll be honest with you, because it doesn't look right, but I know it will look fine once it's done. I just hate it at this stage. Right, I'm going to put the rest of this on and then we'll come back once this is done. And that's it all done. Yeah. Now, I know it looks horrible at the minute, but I know how this is going to dry and I know how it's going to come out the other side. So this is the awkward moment and the awful moment where you have to leave the project, leave it overnight to dry, then come back in the next day and see how beautiful it is. Yeah, it's one of those have faith guys, you know what I mean? I hate this stage because I know it looks awful, I know it'll look fine, but it's the doubt and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully the next time you see me, Mel will be a happy and relieved chappy. But in the meantime, here's some pics. Do you know, I always worry about coming in at this stage when something's been drying overnight and that sort of stuff. But there's only been one other occasion that I've come in and had this sort of reaction, and that was with my D-Day board when the ocean cured. Yeah, I came in and it was just looked beautiful. This is no different, guys. Come on down. Right, okay, so here's all our ice done, as you can see. Let me take you through it. Okay, if you go in the mid sort of areas, that's basically just our sort of our mixture. And what I mean by our mixture is that initial mixture of our Mod Podge, the gloss Mod Podge, with the crushed glass and the snow flock. Yeah, and then when you look here, that's where I've come in these thicker areas here. Okay, that's where I've come in and I've used more, what you call it, of the crushed glass to get that really crunched up, hard sort of, what you call it, ice look. If you come over here and it looks a little bit more frosty, yeah, that's where we've come on and we've dressed the top with that little bit of our snow flock instead of the ice. Okay, and then thirdly, if you come along and you can sort of see this brown here, yeah, it's still quite stark because it's got a contrast line. Yeah, as it meets where the snow's going to go. When the deep snow goes on, that'll blend out, so I'm not concerned with that whatsoever. But if you sort of look along here, you can see how it's got that muddy, slushy sort of feel. And that's replicated inside and on the other side, and I'll show you some photos. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? And so there you are, guys. That is essentially it. I mean, it is hard, it is playable. You know, there's nothing more I need to do with that. I did give it a very quick little brush off, just to brush off any loose bits of what you call it, of the snow flock and the ice that didn't stick down. It was a tiny few crumbs, but you know, it's just good housekeeping. But that's it. That's how to get beautiful, lovely, realistic roads. Now, the next thing on this project is I've got to add the deep snow and that sort of stuff. That'll just finish it off. But with regards to the ice techniques, those are the ice techniques that I've used, and I've used them on various parts of the build. I've used them on the on the battlements and that sort of stuff as well. Just less of the mix. So with that done, there you have it, guys. That is how to do easy icy roads and ground. Yeah, as always, I hope you found it useful. I hope you find these tips useful. If you've got any questions, get them down in the comments. Yeah, if you've got any tips, get those down in the comments as well. Always up for learning, guys. And as always, yeah, like it, share it, and if you really do like these videos and they are helping you with your hobby, which I hope they are if you make it to this part of the video, yeah, then please consider supporting the channel and supporting me and what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, just $1 a month on Patreon, yeah, helps keep the lights on, the cameras rolling, and me in here producing content for you. And if you're not into the regular thing, yeah, then remember there's links down to PayPal and my Amazon wish list. So you can either send me a one-off tip for helping you with your hobby, or just buy me something for the studio, yeah, and help me help you with your hobby. But in the meantime, links are on screen. Yeah, more videos, more snow stuff. Almost wrap this project up. I'll see you real soon. Yeah, guys, all the best. Ta-da.